Hi, I'm Bill Cherry, and I am a wealth strategist. My office is in Dallas, and we've been doing this for 50 years. Long time. And what I do is I go through your stuff, and I try to figure out where things can be improved. Or if, in fact, it's just a helter-skelter bunch of stuff, and it would be much better if it were all in one place. So in the process of that, I look at your investments. I look at your obligations. I look at your will. And I look at your desires for the future. We put all that together, and we come up with a formula. And we're able to tell if you're on the right track or not. We're able to perhaps just tinker with it a little bit to make it work well, much better for you. Or sometimes we say, good grief, what in the world are you thinking? We need to get this going right. Anyway, my website is wscherry.com. If you go to wscherry.com, you will see my website. And everything I do and all of my credentials are there for you to look at. I want to talk today about wills. You would think that a guy like me wouldn't know much about wills. I don't know as I know a bunch about wills. What I know is a bunch about mistakes that have been made in wills that I have had to deal with over the years for my clients. Okay? And they're not on purpose, I promise. The lawyer did the best he could. But in many cases, they haven't asked all of the questions they needed to ask. They assumed some of the answers. And as a result of that, the wills have things in them that don't belong in them. So when they're probated and they go before the judge has got to figure out what in the world the person was thinking when he suggested, he being that guy that died, what this and that and something else would be in that will. It don't belong there. So here's the thing that is really troubling right now. There are two things. One of them is if you have a family of more than one person, children for an example, and they're going to be the beneficiaries of your estate, you need to put all of them as co-trustees. All right, co-trustees. Nobody's left out. They are all working together to distribute the assets and so forth of your estate in the manner that you wanted them done, because each one of them has a part of it. If you're not planning on doing that and you don't think that's a good idea, then you need to have someone else, like a CPA, to be the executor and to distribute the assets and manage the estate as you had wanted it done and as it says and is outlined in your will. The second thing is this, and this is the one that is I worry about. I've fallen into this trap so many times that I just get cringy all over. With the relatively new, I suppose, interest in Alzheimer's and dementia, the easiest way to attack a will and say that it wasn't what Mama really meant is to say that she, at that particular point in time, was suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's. And she was not in the mental state to prepare the will, even though the lawyer drew the will that says that she claims that she was in the mental state to know what she was doing. And so what you end up with at that point in time is if the children or the beneficiaries are not happy with the way the thing turns out, they try to turn the will over by saying she was crazy as a loon. It's really what happens. And so here we go, if everybody's fighting and fussing and whatever else, And then on top of that, that same person named one person, say the oldest son, to be the executor of the will. And what if he's not honorable? You never know. You just never know. So, my first resolution to you is put everybody on the will as the trustee. The second part of it is, or the executor, depending on whether it's a trust or a will. My second resolution is for you to have everyone sit down and look at the will all together when it's completed. And it should be in the lawyer's office so that each one of them can ask any question that they want to. And then at one point in that thing, at that time, you need to say, do each one of you feel that I am in sound mind enough to prepare this will? Okay? And a better place of all of that, on top of that, is to record the visit without any editing in it. Here it is. Mama's talking, lawyer's talking, Susie's complaining, Henry's happy, whatever it is, and it's all there. And then when they get to the end of the deal and Mama says, this is the way I want it, you now know what it is, and that's what we're going to do, and you know that I'm of sound mind. They sign it. Then if there's any argument down the line, that is so easily solved by pulling all this stuff out and saying, you were there, you agreed, here's the tape, proves it was. And another part of that is that it is even probably pretty smart for the decedent, the future decedent, to go to her doctor and have her doctor say, for all he knows, and best of his ability, she's of sound mind on that day. Okay? You've got all the bases covered. Now, I want you to understand something. If you've ever read a will or you've ever read a trust, one of the most interesting things in there is it says that the person, the executor of the estate or the trustee, is not responsible to be bonded. That's in there for a very strong reason. And it is that most bonding companies don't want to take on bonding somebody who is not experienced or who has an interest in how this thing turns out. So in order to get somebody to do it, if you even can, to bond that this is going to turn out the way it's supposed to be, the cost is enormous. The bonding companies have told you something that you need to know, and it is that the chances are superior that something is going to go wrong, and the bonding company doesn't want to be stuck with a big bill. Okay, so I hope you learned what I've told you today. You've thought about it. Come back and look at it again. If you have any questions, you're certainly welcome to call me, or you can Zoom me. Isn't that funny, Zooming? I don't know Zooming, but we do a lot of Zooming around here all of a sudden. And you and I can have a private conversation. And that's free. You know, it really is. Nice talking to you. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. I'm Bill Cherry. My website is wscherry.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.